Hello everyone, this is Charlie and I am back with another video. This time is a special edition of Superman Reborn. Um, it's sort of like a Superman 101, Superman Reborn 101. I wanted to do it. Originally I wanted to just share my thoughts on the book, on the whole crossover, the basic crossover of 4 issues. Uh, but the book started getting late. I started getting some uh, of the aftermath books as well. So I thought, well, maybe I just share my thoughts on all of the whole crossover and what happens after. But I kind of started noticing that people were wondering what exactly going on or what actually happened in Reborn and why maybe Superman seems a little bit different. Uh, so I will try to sort of bring a nice condensed version of what happened because a lot happened, but two main things are at the center of Reborn, the crossover. In the crossover, we deal with a long-running subplot which is resolved, and it moves forward the Superman plot point of the Rebirth special. So it resolves the mystery of Clark Kent. Who is this Clark Kent that showed up at the beginning of Rebirth? And in a not so subtle way, it is revealed that it's actually Mr. Mxyzptlk, who got captured by Mr. Oz when he returned to Earth to bug Superman. I think he does every 90 days. So I thought that was very cool, the return of Mr. Mxyzptlk, who we really hadn't seen since about 10 years ago or more, about 12 years now. The last time that we officially saw Mr. and Mrs. Mxyzptlk, and this version actually, was way back during the Infinite Crisis, prior to Infinite Crisis. So it's been a long time since the character actually showed up. We got a few mentions from Grant Morrison's Running Action Comics, but we never really got to see him clearly. So he shows up, so he escapes Oz's prison, and of course he shows up in the current DCU, which was completely different than the one he remembered. For one thing, he actually finds out that everybody knew that Superman and Clark were one and the same, but then the real Flashpoint Superman shows up, so he decides to become Clark Kent and help Superman protect his secret identity, and at the same time hide from Mr. Ross. Of course, he's also mad because Superman didn't really notice that he had not shown up as usual, and then he finally discovers that Superman actually has a son. So he decides to get even and pretty much torture Superman by kidnapping his son, erasing Lois's memory of John, and in a battle to rescue John, we get into the Rebirth territory where we learn that Superman was split in two by somebody else. This mysterious, force, which we all think is Dr. Manhattan. And so by the end, basically, both the New 52 version and the pre-Flashpoint Superman merge and create a whole new timeline. So now you have events from the 90s mixed in with events from the New 52 with uh, the Secret Origin by Geoff Johns and Gary Frank as the origin story. So, origin story, not Man of Steel anymore. It's Superman Secret Origin. We get a whole bunch of the stuff from the 90s, including the death at the hands of Doomsday. Certain events were taken away prior to the wedding. It's not explained. Really, we just know that after the death of Superman, a little while later, they get married. Then we get the Superman Lewis and Clark miniseries added after the birth of John, who is now born in the Fortress of Solitude with the help of Wonder Woman and Batman. So no more being born in the Flashpoint, in the Flashpoint Batman's Batcave, but in the Fortress of Solitude. Then they kind of go away to California, where the Lewis and Clark miniseries took place after Convergence. Then a little while after that, a large chunk of the adventures of the New 52 Superman now take place. So events from the New 52 take place after the Lewis and Clark miniseries. The time they would live in California, and then we get that. So that's pretty much the new timeline. But as why Superman, not only do we have a new version of Superman, and not only is now Superman always at the center of brought back, their focus as being at the center of the DCU, because in the last month's Superwoman issue, which is a tie-in to Reborn, we get that mention of why Lewis and Clark, where Lana asks Lewis and Clark why they're so important to the universe. Same thing that Mr. Mxyzptlk says, saying that Lewis and Clark will always find each other no matter where they are. So that's, they're very important. They're the pillars of the DCU, because really it all starts with Superman's first appearance in Action Comics #1 back in '38, where the whole idea of the DC universe really, and superheroes, grows. So I'm glad they sort of brought that back into focus, and the fact that Superman actually created a whole new timeline kind of honors that importance. So we get this whole new continuity, where we get the New 50 merged and made from the New 52 Superman and the pre-Flashpoint Superman's memories. So now there's one Superman, and not two. There's one Superman, one history. But it doesn't really end there, because Superman is disturbed by what he experienced and feels that something is not really right. So that's why in Action Comics 977 and 978 he actually goes to the fortress, and we get this whole new history revealed to us, because he wants to find out what's wrong, what's missing, what's fractured, and he really can't find anything. And at the same time, he's really concerned about this very powerful being. So Mr. Oz appears at the end of this issue, and so whatever Superman is facing, it's something he's never faced before. it seems to be super powerful, and somebody who can actually split Superman to make him weak, who can actually, play with his life, and maybe with the life of everybody else. It's something that really concerns him. So most of the aftermath issues really deal with Superman uh, recruiting uh, members of the Superman family to help him when the time comes. So he goes to Supergirl, he goes to the new Superman. He even actually asks Batman and Wonder Woman help. That's where we see in Trinity, where he's really disturbed, anxious. We get this very symbolic description of a dream he's having, where he's actually fighting with himself. With the new 52 Superman, and maybe because something is really off. So that's why he's kind of acting a bit strange, because he's off. He's something is still doesn't feel right for him. With Superwoman, we have a big question mark there, because it seems to still feed on the New 52. The fact that her powers really came from the dead Superman, and if it's Superman, when he died, the energies hit her and Lois. That's what gave her powers. And in the tie-in issue to Reborn, she actually released those energies, so that's why she doesn't have any powers. But we didn't really get an explanation as to now where her powers came from originally in this new timeline. But so that's a big question mark with Supergirl, and I think you should really pick Supergirl up, because you really get a nice condensed explanation of what went on in Reborn. And after, Superman again says to Supergirl that he may need her help to face this mysterious assailant who's been toying with his life, with so that's pretty much what a Reborn and its aftermath is about. New timeline made out of the emerged Superman, and something is really worrying Superman, and it's setting up stuff for the next time we'll get an update from what's been going on in Rebirth. So that's pretty much it. As for Superman, as you've noticed, I didn't really mention Superman as being part of the aftermath of Superman Reborn. The only connection is that we've got this new version of Superman with the same history. The events going on in Superman really have to deal with the mystery of Hamilton County that's been building up since issue 1. So Superman number 21 really makes it very clear that there's something in Hamilton County that's sort of attacking John, attacking Superman. It's not very clear, but there's something weird going on there, and that's why in that series Superman is a little bit off as well. But for the rest of the books, it's really something's wrong. As I explained, Superman really thinks something is wrong, so that's why he's a bit off. But next month it's back to business as usual, I guess. Until like I said, DC decides to update us on the next phase of Rebirth. Of course, we got the Button, which is picking up on the Justice Society plot point, and of course Batman and Flash's investigation on the Button itself. So that's it for now. I'll be back with another video talking about the books I got this week. Of actually wanted to talk about all the other books that I've been reading, but you know, it would be too long, and I've probably kept most of them. Kept already put most of them away, so I still have the books from this week, and I'll talk about those. I'll share my thoughts on them. So until next time, keep smiling.